This is just a sample of the audiobook. To get the complete audiobook, access the link posted in the first comment.
When Secretariat crossed the finish line at Belmont Park, New York on June 9, 1973, 31 lengths in front of Twice a Prince and faster than any horse had ever run a mile and a half, the crowd exploded in joy and pride and relief. 25 years had passed since any 3-year-old horse had done what Secretariat just did, win the Kentucky Derby, Preakness Stakes, and Belmont Stakes in a span of 5 weeks. The Triple Crown of Thoroughbred racing was reserved for an elite crop of horses. Only 8 horses had won it in 54 years. Many horse experts wondered if they would ever see another Triple Crown winner. Some called it the Triple Crown jinx. If some big horse doesn't win the Triple Crown soon, the racing crowd may forget what it's all about, wrote Steve Snyder in 1963, when the drought was only at the 15-year mark. For since Citation last colored those 3 famous races for 3-year-olds in 1948, the Triple Crown is something to talk about, but not to witness. Former Calumet Farm trainer Jimmy Jones was even more cynical in 1966 before Cowie King made his unsuccessful bid for the Triple Crown in the Belmont Stakes. "We may never see another Triple Crown champion," he said. Horse racing experts were at a loss to explain why no horse had won the Triple Crown. The main consensus was that thoroughbred racing had become extremely competitive. In 1945, 5,819 foals had been registered with the Jockey Club. By 1970, that number had skyrocketed to 24,954. Others thought bad luck contributed to the dearth of winners. Tim Tam, Carryback, Majestic Prince, and Canonero II all had the Triple Crown within reach before suffering injuries before or during the Belmont. The task that lies before these horses is daunting. Take a young, green 3-year-old horse and make him race a mile and a quarter early in the spring, the Kentucky Derby. A short 2 weeks later, make him run in a slightly shorter race, the Preakness. Then in 3 weeks, enter him in a mile-and-a-half marathon, the Belmont, that would take its toll on any horse, especially a 3-year-old. Consider that in the Preakness and the Belmont, the horse will probably face fresh horses that did not run in the Derby, and it is difficult to string together 3 wins in a row. But Secretariat ended the drought with 3 resounding victories in 1973, breaking track records in each race and a world record in the Belmont. 4 years later, Seattle Slew, bought for $17,500 at an auction, defeated all competitors with relative ease to become the only undefeated Triple Crown winner. The trend continued. Affirmed battled it out with his rival, Alydar, in all 3 races in 1978, thrilling crowds and winning the Derby by 1.5 lengths, the Preakness by a neck, and the Belmont by a nose. For the first time ever, horse racing had 2 consecutive Triple Crown winners. Talk suddenly changed from a Triple Crown jinx to a Triple Crown glut. The question now turned on itself. Why were there suddenly so many Triple Crown winners after a 25-year drought? Triple Crown winners seemed to come in bunches. There were 3 Triple Crown winners in the 1930s, 4 in the 1940s, and now 3 in the 1970s. No one knew exactly why, although some horse racing experts tried to rationalize the trend. First, horses were not experiencing the injuries that had befallen so many Triple Crown hopefuls in the past. Second, Bold Ruler, one of the great sires of all time, was making his presence known in his progeny. Both Secretariat and Seattle Slew were descendants of the stallion. And finally, luck played a role. Just like drawing 2 straight flushes in poker, a freak occurrence could happen anytime, even 3 Triple Crowns in 6 years.